I have arrived.
Me too.
Melt in your mouth.
They look so cheery.
You're an M&M. There's no point in wondering where your pockets are.
Tasting smooth, creamy milk. Chocolate center.
You're an M&M. It's alright. There's no sense in wondering where your pockets are.
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
Don't worry, they say hi.
Solid milk chocolate.
M&M's.
I love being on TV when you're an M&M. Don't worry, it's alright.
Solid milk chocolate.
M&M's.
Don't worry.
Get in the ball.
The milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies. Milk chocolate.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies. Creamy milk. Milk chocolate.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies.
I hope no one
Almond chocolate.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies. Chocolate center. Milk chocolate.
you're an M&M?
No one wrong.
There's no point in wondering where your pockets are.
Only M&M's candies.
You're an M&M. It's alright. There's no sense in wondering where your ear holes are.
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
So it's that kind of party. Dark chocolate, darker than they seem. So it's that kind of party. When you're an M&M. 13 more hours. Oh no.
Solid milk chocolate.
Aye. 13 more hours. Oh no.
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies. Milk chocolate.
rock the boat?
Bite-sized candies. Creamy milk. Chocolate. Milk chocolate.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies.
M&M?
Almond chocolate.
Do you think
Bite-sized candies. Chocolate center.
when you're an M&M?
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
Must buy other
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
Creamy milk. Chocolate. Milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
must buy other
Milk chocolate melts in your mouth.
They say hi when you're an M&M.
All the M&M's you could want. With peanuts or plain.
Might wonder. Might wonder. You're an M&M. 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 You're an M&M.
Milk chocolate. Bite-sized candy. Chocolate center. Milk chocolate. Bite-sized candy. Chocolate center. The M&M's can only all new M's. The M&M's can bite-sized candies. M's. The M&M's can only all new M's. The M&M's can.
I'd say that's a wrap.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Darmuth, and welcome to another Darachat. I am here with the somewhat legendary, somewhat amazing
Mega legendary.
man.
Spoken amongst tribes all across the globe. No one's called me legendary.
What was it I hear? I hear the African tribes dancing
That's
to
it.
your song.
Yes. Well, my friend in Africa.
So, how are you doing, Panda Sub?
Good. How you doing there, Darmuth?
Good. I have to ask though, where'd the name come from? Because that sounds like a sub goal right there, PandaSub2000. So
Yeah. It's I should call it like the sub club, which is like the lamest thing of all time. No, the Panda Sub comes from originally my channel was a series, a sci-fi comedy series that I was making, and still actually am making, called Panda Sub. So it's a bunch of these explorers on a panda submarine, hence PandaSub2000.
that's pretty funny. Don't get me wrong.
Pretty weird.
Was it shaped like a panda though, like an actual?
Yeah. It's an actual panda. It's a panda with a submarine on top of it, and that's where the explorers are inside.
Nice. Yeah.
Very weird.
Because I was like, because I saw some of your videos, and you, like you said, you do a lot of it on zero budget, and it looks like you have all the budget in the world.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't tell that you're not really like there was the one video you were pointing me to was, you can tell you're not actually on a Segway or whatever you call that. And I was like, what? I mean, it's pretty good for what it is. Don't get me wrong. But man, that must take a lot of time though, just to get that done.
Yeah. The show. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But basically, the live shows are different than the kind of the story content I make.
Yeah.
That story content takes a very long time, and to give you an idea of how long that takes, the
Yeah.
episode that you saw called Night Trapped,
Yeah.
there's an action sequence on it that's
Yeah.
maybe about 3 minutes long, and that took 8 months to make. Just that segment was 8 months. All for that piece of crap. 8 months.
You know, they say if you love what you work, it never feels like work and day in your life. But you take it.
Exactly.
I've told I've told a few other people when doing this. I'm like, I make this to get people on and stuff. It's like I make this easier than apple pie. All right,
Mhm.
apple pie, you have to do gather all the ingredients, make sure everything's just measured right, and then you have to put it in the oven and wait a certain amount of time. I'm just like, here's 3 places you can find me at. Go to them if you want to come on. That's it.
Right.
It still doesn't work, but I mean, I'm trying. I'm trying. Oh goodness. Uh-oh.
1 second. I just had to swap headphones out. Oh, you can still hear me, right? Everything's
Yeah,
good?
I can
Okay.
still hear you.
Perfect. Sorry about that.
Now without the glasses, did anyone tell you that you almost kind of look like Ryan Reynolds because you have the hair, you have the beard and stuff? I'm getting Ryan Reynolds vibe right here.
I will accept that. Typically, I get so thank you.
Yeah,
So
you're cool.
typically I get the guy. Have you ever seen the movie Can't Hardly Wait?
I've heard of it, but I can't remember what. I
The
think
main character of that, Ethan
Yeah.
Embry is his name. Ethan Embry. Not nearly as attractive. So if Ryan Reynolds is attractive here, Ethan Embry is all the way down here. That's usually what I get compared to is Ethan Embry.
Jeez. And it's like I've seen that happen to me. I've had that happen to quite a few times. Like it's either like a nephew or something like that. Say, I think I've only had it once where I was compared to some celebrity, but I can't remember what the celebrity is. But I've always had that, somebody come up and say, "Oh, you look like my nephew there." Oh, I was like, "Don't touch my cheek."
Well, have you ever heard, "Hey, you look like a really ugly," an insert celebrity? Those are always fun too. If someone says that, yeah.
Ugly.
You look like Ryan Gosling, just much more hideous.
You look like Ryan Gosling before Green Lantern.
If Ryan Gosling had gotten into a horrific car accident, he would look something like that.
They'd be like, that just sounds awful. Gosh, who ruined your life? So, I didn't get to go far back, but how long have you been doing this stuff? Like from the total of it? Because I know you have Odyssey, you have YouTube, you have your own website, which I did link to the other links, and of course Rumble. But how long have you been doing this?
So, the PandaSub channel that's been around, I think, since November of 2020. I was on YouTube for a while. I
Okay.
had opened a Rumble account. Not much was going on here, but that was one of the first places I created an account.
Mhm.
I loved the idea of Rumble. Just early on, I loved it, and I was hoping that they'd get a little bit more established. Because to be honest, I didn't want to join YouTube. I'm kind of against. I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube. I'll put it that way.
Understandable.
Yeah. So, but Rumble wasn't in a place that worked for me at that time. I was
Mhm.
really focused on YouTube around 2020, and then I'd say 2023 really made the complete shift over to Rumble, where now YouTube is just kind of like an archive of whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. But yeah, because for me, it's like I started on YouTube because I wanted to live stream on Rumble, but they still had the 5 follower thing, right? You had that
Yeah.
5 followers. So I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll have to build up 5 followers, which I'm just recording videos off of StreamYard and then
Right.
posting them on, even though I'm really just not I don't edit.
Mhm.
I do not have that skill whatsoever. And
Sure.
and so that's how I just played my videos, right? I did like movie review, full straight. I did all this other stuff, and it is how it is, right? Because unfortunately for Rumble right now, they don't have a recommendation engine for their videos, right? For videos or what we call shorts. Now, obviously, I at least have enough people or whatever that I'm posting shorts and I'm getting views.
Yeah. You're doing great.
And I hear a lot of people are like they want Rumble to have something to that, right? You've heard those discussions, right? Rumble should have for shorts, whatever. I'm like, but I can post shorts now. all you need is the recommendation engine and you're good. There's nothing else you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same with the pre-recorded videos, because again, that's Rumble's issues, right? Most of the stuff is on the live streams.
Yeah.
But a lot of content creators who are on YouTube, and they do kind of want some of those people on YouTube, they kind of need to work on that recommendation engine. So when it comes out, it will hopefully boost that sort of.
When you say recommendation engine, do you mean like an algorithm? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, it's the thing that Rick had spoken on, is that they're working on a sort of recommendation engine to recommend that are similar in what video you've seen, like with YouTube. Right?
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Mhm.
either content creator, or I think it's going to be just mostly like based upon the last thing you viewed, right? If you saw something on DIY, you get something within that vein. If you saw something on,
Okay.
Stuff like that. So,
Yeah, that would be great. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
all for that. That sounds awesome. Yeah.
yeah, but I kept, even I was on the first Lumpy roundtable, that was the thing, is that their thing was shorts. They wanted the shorts thing, and I was like, I'm posting shorts right now. If
Mhm.
you build up enough people or whatever, you can have something. I mean, it doesn't have to be thousands of followers. The same with the videos, right? If you have enough of a following, pre-recorded videos, I should say, pre-recorded videos
Mhm.
will follow.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't. But because I don't edit, I use that program, or whatever it is called, Opus, right?
Okay.
Opus.pro.
Okay.
And they do have a free trial, but after that they have a basic package, which is like $9 for like 2.5 hours. So
Is it like a month or something? They do that?
well, let's say this: they do have a monthly thing, but if you put a full stream, say you put a 2-hour stream on it, right, just
Okay.
to get clips from it, you kind of use up that 2.5 hours. So the weird thing is
Right.
that you have to buy the whole month again, right? But you get your time credits restored, time credits on. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing. They should have you just buy the time credit packet instead of redoing the monthly thing, which is like, I don't get this.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go for $20 a month. I'm not pro. I just let me be able to buy.
Yeah, that's a
time
lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for that. I can, off camera, I can recommend some free things for you that might help you out. They're free, so you don't ever have to pay a dime.
Right. Well, my thing is that the great thing about the Opus thing is that, one, it's mostly an AI doing the work for you, going through
Okay.
finding certain subjects out of it. Like I just posted one with Cool Frog, who's on a previous year and pass,
Mhm.
and they take talking points that might be interesting, right? But you get to edit that remark. So actually, you know what? I'll just do, since it's better to be visual. I'm gonna go to this, just the one, and then I've got to go presentation, and then I gotta go here. Okay, so this is what it looked like after you add a whole stream, which was like 118 to be outright. So it goes through and it gets certain certain things that just latch onto, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the one I did earlier, about this one. But in it, you can edit your clip and all this other stuff, and it will do
Okay.
this. Yeah. So that's why I use it, because it's doing most of the work. I'm just going,
Sure.
making sure it sounds right. So,
Sure.
and I know there are free things out there. So don't get me wrong. But is there, like, since I don't edit and I don't have that?
Yeah, no. The things that I would recommend don't do what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense now. You're looking for something that really helps you out a lot. So yeah, no, mine is more the free offerings. I would say are much more bare bones.
Yeah.
So,
And
this works for you great.
yeah, and for me, there's nothing wrong with that. You go for what works for you, because and a funny thing, I remember there was a post you had posted, right? It was about content creators talking about their audience. I can't remember how you said it, but why don't you, if you could, please try saying it again, or at least what your thought of was when you were saying
Yeah,
it.
well, no, there was this growing observation that I've seen in all communities, right? Just in social media, in total, not just Rumble or anything like that. YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, where some creators, not all, a minority of creators talk about their audience blatantly like a business opportunity, right? So So just for me to be very clear, I'm not against anyone making money in whatever business they're doing. I totally
Right.
like that's not what I'm about. I'm
Right.
saying where they're just openly, blatantly just talking about their audience almost in a sheep-like manner of, like this is I didn't hit my numbers, and so I'm going to have to do this so that more people come in and blah blah blah, and then that way they'll give me some money for this, and I'm just like, that is gross, and I'm more surprised by the people who are okay with that are just following that. Like, all right, yeah, he's a great guy. That was kind of shocking to me, and I was more alarmed by how many more creators I'm starting to see do that. I would just think that most people, at least behind closed doors, would kind of try to not put that out in the open.
Right.
But there is blatant, and why not? Because they're just getting more people to sub to them anyway. So it's just a weird observation that I've had. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
Yeah, no, and I understand too. For my explanation is that for me, it's always been I when I first started out doing this, right, it was pre-recorded videos, and then live stream. I finally bought the pro package on Rumble, and just was able to live stream. But for me, it's hey, UB Legend, what up?
How you doing there, UB?
He was on a while ago. So for me, it's like I try to stay very humble about this because I've seen too many content creators when they get too high in the scale, they sort of start to lose that edge, right? Because they want to bring on people who can get them higher, right? Who can get them on a higher lighter. And for me, bigger. Oh, he's asking you a question.
How you doing, brother? Is that what he's saying? I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be on this show. I was very honored to be asked, so doing great.
you honor me, sir. You honor
Poppycock.
But anyway, so I won't get distracted again. So the thing of it is like I've seen other content creators, and there's many who I follow that still stay humble. They're like, I'd still be here even if I didn't get paid or whatever. So I do know that, but it felt like there are some creators, whether I follow them or not, where it's like is this feeling of like they have to have someone on who's hired, who has all this stuff. And for me, I've bounced all around all over the place. If you were to look at my list, they'd be like people you wouldn't know. So some people don't show their face because either they don't want to or they can't because Rumble Studios is a bit iffy for some things.
Yeah.
But it's just like for me, I going higher up is fine because you kind of need more credibility. That's what I want, credibility. Okay. I need to build credibility to have more people on, right? That's how it works. Connect, all that stuff. But for me, it's not about higher up people. It's about who's willing to come on to have a whatever conversation, right? You've heard of Rants, right? Rants Dark.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So he was on, and he was like, it was just something he was trying to tell me about. I was missing something or whatever. It was sort of like he saw like I needed there was like he was put in this way of like carrot, right? Like I needed to find my carrot is how he described it. I'm like, dude, you need to put away the food idioms or something like that. But he wasn't wrong in a sense because it's like I don't the thumbnails, right? The thumbnails are always this thing. Like if you saw the Mr. Beast stuff, right? You'd see all the thumbnails like his mouth wide open or whatever. But every content, I'm like, is he eating a hoagie?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I know thumbnails are a capture for the audience, but for me, it's like I don't have that. I tried GIMP once, and I was like, I was sweating at the end of it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that GIMP especially would be. I mean, if you've never touched stuff like that, it's intimidating as all hell. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I know thumbnails are sort of the draw for things, right? So, but I had someone else on who was like, first off, I was using AI generated images. Like I would just, if it looked good to me, like some have bubbles in them, some have like a cosmic feel to them. I was just doing what I liked, right? I was just doing what I liked.
As you should.
And so one of the people I had on was saying like, people like to see the face more than what you have. It's like, well, I'll try that. I'll see what it goes. And because again, my numbers are great here on YouTube. It's sort of like for right now, I have probably like 46-ish people. Okay. So I am growing. It's just slowly. But the thing of it is that that's mostly through word of mouth and connecting. And I understand your point of the matter. I get that, but for me, it's like right now in this day and age with content creation, sooner or later you're gonna have to multi-platform. You may not like it, but
That's great. Yeah, yeah. No, to be clear, I think everyone should do whatever makes them happy. The only observation I was making again was just like I was surprised that certain audiences were gravitating towards content creators who were blatantly referring to them as sheep.
yeah,
That was the only thing I was saying. But yeah, everyone should do whatever. I mean, look, I constantly shoot myself in the foot. Every piece of advice that you got is exactly what you should listen to, and you should never listen to me because I constantly shoot myself in the foot. If I had an opportunity to get the world's biggest celebrity on my show, let's say as an interview, or someone that I just really, really like and appreciate with one sub, I will easily go with the one sub because I have no interest. For me personally,
right? Yeah,
quite stupidly, I'm more interested in the great conversation that I want to have,
yeah.
and making that kind of content that just makes me happy. And I figure if I can make me happy,
Yeah.
then whatever audience I've built, then I'm always true and genuine to that audience. Because what I like is most likely what they like.
Right.
So Celebrity X, for me to get on, only confuses the brand because I actually don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about Celebrity X. So, but should you always go for Celebrity X? Yes. Should you? That helps grow your channel. That is a smart move. Don't ever listen to me who says, no, dude, you should listen to your heart.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fake Ryan Reynolds. But anyway.
Train wreck Ryan Reynolds.
No, but yeah, I'm sorry, I got off topic. Yes, I have seen the follower thing. So yeah, for me, I probably have only mentioned just that time. I've only probably mentioned any of my followers on either end a few times, right? And you see these content creators mention like, I'm at 200, I'm at 400, I'm at whatever. I'm like, and I'm almost at 1,000K. Let's get them to 1,000K. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Don't let me stop you. For me, however, it's sort of like I'm here for this. I'm here for this. You and me, our perspectives, whatever. I'm here for this. That's what I'm here for. The likes, the followers, the donos, all of that is secondary. I mean, it would be nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's all secondary to the true goal of like. You have no what has happened to us in having just a conversation with anyone right now. I don't care for bad actors. I'm not here for arguments. I'm not here for debates. I don't care about any of that. You take that for the birds. All right, that's for the birds. Let them choke on it.
That's often who I argue with. Birds.
The sparrows, right?
Correct. I hate sparrows.
Mr. Matthew says, I actively ask for and blatantly don't listen to Panda's advice.
The wise Mr. Matthews, very wise. How you doing, Matthews?
Very wise, very smart. But yeah, I just see these things like, and don't get me wrong, some of those people, they still do the number thing, but they stay humble about it. So it's kind of like a give and take to that. But for me, it's like I don't really mention it because I'm afraid that people will be thinking of that I'll see it as a shallow thing, right? Like it's just some sort of shallow, like, oh, he's saying he's 200 followers, whoop-de-doo. Oh, he's getting all this money, whoop-de-da. What happened to all this other stuff? And I guess in a way it's also about keeping myself humble about this because again, there are content creators who after a period of time, they start to lose their way, and humility is just sort of like this blasé thing that you just throw out there like a green card at a soccer game, right? You just like, you can go now.
Right.
So, but yeah,
let me ask you this. Do you mind if I interrupt?
Go ahead.
Would you rather have, at the moment, 20 loyal, fantastic, engaging followers on Rumble, or subscribers, right? Subscribers or followers on whatever platform you're on. 20 incredible ones that every time you come on is a joy, you're laughing, or you're having a great conversation, you're learning something, whatever that may be. Or 3,000 of people who barely ever watch you, have really not much to say, but hey, you can say you've got 3,000. Now, I think a lot of people would say 3,000 because that gives you more opportunities. They're not wrong about that. For me personally, I prefer to have that 20 because, to me, that's the more engaging, fantastic, fun conversations that you can have, where
Right.
what I'm doing now is a joy for me, and it's
Mhm.
hopefully somewhat manageable for them to watch, but for me, it's a joy, right?
Right.
So what would you prefer? Would you prefer the 3,000 number there, but that you maybe see 5 of them every once in a while, or do you want 20 solid? What would you do in that situation?
So before I give an answer, I'd like to say I can see from both ends, right? Like you said,
Sure.
3,000 is more like you can say, you can show all that stuff, right? And the 20 is,
Opportunities.
yeah, and the 20, yeah, of course, and your reach gets more bigger. And the 20 is sort of, I understand that too, because if it's not engaging enough, you're sort of being where you started, right? Talking to the wind and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
My thing is, I guess I could say I'm a bit greedy and I would go middle road. And my
Okay.
reasoning is because one, for what I'm doing, right? The having conversations with different people, whatever, my credibility has to build enough to have more people on, right? Otherwise, again, like I think it was with you as well. Like many people ask, when I ask them on, I was like, what is our topic going to be? What are we going to talk about, right?
Mhm.
Because they've seen other. I know this is considered a podcast, but I don't call it a podcast. I call it a chat because I saw everyone else put cast at the end of their name. It's like, why would I want to be like everyone else? And so I put
Hey,
chat.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I put chat at the end of Dara. I can't do like Dara moves chat or Dara moves cast because it's just weird.
Mhm.
So it could work either way, but I thought, why would I want to? It's like when I built my first computer, right? Everyone was like Intel, and then I was like, wait, what's this AMD guy? so
Right.
so I went that route. Hey, Sammy C. So I kind of I know there's an either or answer that some people would want, but for me it's middle road because one, I want to build credibility.
You fence sitter.
Well, I want to have the
I'm
opportunity.
kidding, I don't.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. I see that smile on your smirk there, fake Ryan.
Fake Ryan.
But for me, it's the first part is credibility. Credibility opens more doors, connects more people, and has some people on. Will it become a difficulty to have old people on when I'm, all that stuff? Yeah, because you're doing more and more. My thing was, if I had 1 million people on, right? If I had 1 million people,
Yep.
I'd have content for the rest of my life.
Okay, but may I inject something here
Yes, sir.
to the
Yes, sir.
conversation? Okay.
Yes.
So here's the potential dilemma in someone who wants the 3,000 versus the 20, right?
Mhm.
So here's the potential dilemma you run into.
Sure.
If so, and luckily for you, you're not that because you decided the middle ground, which is great. But if someone had said 3,000, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem I see. Then that means that that the number is more important to you, which is fine. You do you. The number is more important to you than the engagement or whatever it is that you're looking for on a personal level from this, right?
Right.
So the problem then comes in is that let's just do this with a stupid example, Coke or Pepsi.
right.
If you love Coke and it turns out that the 3,000 people love Pepsi, chances are you're going to have to start drinking Pepsi on your stream. and then how much does that keep escalating where now you're no longer making content that you want to make because you're always chasing what that algorithm or what that group of people wants of you. So it's derailed from you. Your show has actually been taken in a sense away from you, where that 20 unapologetically loves you, the content that you make for what it is. You see what I'm saying? So like to me, that 20 is a much more dynamic, interesting group than the number of 3,000 would be, because that 3,000 for me personally, I see as an empty number if they're not engaging, if they don't really particularly care for what I'm trying to make. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
So then you're always just chasing a number. Now,
Yeah.
for people out there who are business savvy and far smarter and far more wealthier than I am, i.e., homeless, then that is the smart decision to make, because who cares? You're making your money. You have a relatively relaxed job doing this. Hey, more power to you. It's just me personally. That's why I like that 20. That kind of makes sense.
No, so let me give you an example, right? So shorts, YouTube shorts, right? We're just going on the short factor. So I've posted shorts where they do pretty well. Like one is almost close to 500 and some are less so. So I will admit, yes, there are times which I wish I could have a bit more
Sure.
follow the more that eyes that see you, the more you're able, the more your credibility builds, right? So I will say I am human, so I do have those moments. But when I look at that, right, I'm not trying to. I would say, in the essence of going after the algorithm in order to be seen more, rather than just chase for. Because I don't think I'll hit monetization. Even if I did hit monetization on YouTube, I don't think I'd take it because obviously there's more problems with monetization on YouTube than there is anything else. I mean, you could say that about any platform, but
Sure.
I digress. YouTube it's its own crass system. And it's funny when content creators go crying to the YouTube Twitter X on YouTube support when something happens, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So for the YouTube Shorts, right? I've had shorts that do well, shorts that do well, but at the end of the day, right? The shorts or like I've taken 2 per stream that I've done with somebody because I want to, there's a lot of stream and it's sort of like I have with Opus, right? You saw I can have a whole list of just stuff.
Yeah.
But it allows me to showcase other people. So I didn't do it before, but the content creator D-Pad Chad, right? I don't know if you've heard of him, D-Pad Chad on Rumble. I posted 2 of his from a stream we previously did, right? I just started posting his links in there because they're doing well, right? And I was thinking, right? So if the short does well, right? Not only I'm getting eyes on me, I am actually, if putting their links in there, I am actually getting them more views from that platform, right? Like
Oh yeah.
it's a 50-50, right? Whether
It's a symbiotic relationship. Absolutely.
yeah. And that's what I'd rather have because again, with my pay it forward streams, right? I don't know if you
I've
been
seen.
okay. So with that, that's sort of the same thing essence because again, whether they see it or not, it does not matter. Many times they don't see it. The point of the matter is giving without expectation, right? A lot of people give, if you were maybe you were on the Rumble raid with Chris Pavlovsky and Flawed TV, right? They were on $10,000. I ain't got that. Maybe I wish, but they did that. And one of the things was they wanted people to show their face and pay attention to the chat, right? Which I get. It's a lot of money, $50, $100, whatever. But for me, it's like, I started out calling it Rumble Raid, and it's like, but I'm not doing that. I don't have a lot of people, right? It's just giving a like, giving some money, and whether they pay attention or not, it doesn't matter. And so, for every time I've done it, I've always been surprised of after, right? Like I'm not expecting anything during, right? Like I've had a few. Was it 2 Fridays before? I think 3 different people said that I was their first Rumble rant. That's exciting. $2 can go a long way. Don't get me wrong in that.
Oh yeah.
But I've always been surprised in because they're followers, they're people to check out my stuff, they do all this stuff. They're like, yeah, I want to see what that guy's does. Again, not a professional. My thumbnails probably won't get a big large crowd or whatever. But the thing of it is those, right? They check out the stuff, they check out the conversations, and they see these other so there's a symbiotic relationship with having other content creators, right? Because if they don't like you, there's another one. If they don't like that person, there's you, and they can go find you.
Right.
So, I wouldn't go after people for clout because that's not the point, right? Big names, all that stuff, yeah, but it's not for clout. It's for just building my credibility. And even if I did go big, I'd still go small, right?
Right.
So I've had a different assortment. I've had VTubers, I've had non-creators, I've had creators like yourself on here. Uncle Pudge is another one. He's a nice guy. I didn't think I'd get him on here either, but I was surprised.
Yeah, no, you did exactly what you should do. You ask and you hope, right? Like that's you can't get that if you don't go out there and try. So good on you for doing it.
Yeah, thank you. Because I know you're doing your own thing as well between the story part, the gaming part, and then I think you have a new show you're wanting to do as well.
Tons of them. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
You're like a man all over the place. Like here, like no.
It is. It's like a drunk squirrel with me. It really is.
Guys, I'm gonna tell you about this new show.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's too hilarious, but yeah, I don't do it for clout. I do it to build credibility because that's the only way. Word of mouth credibility. That's the only way to more people on, to connect with more people, to have more conversations. Because again, on this trail of content creation, right, with other content creators and trying to learn from their mistakes, and you may not make the exact same mistakes, but you can learn from theirs, right?
Yeah.
Even if you have to go over your own videos, like, man, I shouldn't have done that. Dang.
Yeah.
But I kept seeing a lot of content creators get stuck in their circles, right? I understand there's a trust thing, right? A reliable thing. If you have people
Oh,
you
sure.
have on multiple times, you can rely on them. But for me, it was like, well, why aren't these content creators that are like millions of followers now talking to someone that just started out, or someone that has like 10 followers, whatever? Why is that not a thing? Why are we, I understand there's certain themes like gaming, comics, all that stuff. So I understand that as well. But for me, it's like I saw that and I was like, I why not just talk to everyone that wants to talk, right? Just
Yeah, but a lot of people treat it almost like dating, where a 1 would never go after a 10, and a 10 doesn't ever go after a 1.
I'm all tense.
But yeah, but like that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, God bless you, man. Like you said, you're and I'm clearly that 10 that you went. No, I mean, like you went for big names, and you got many of them, and I think you kind of, you're 100% right that so many of them. I am very guilty of the exact same thing, of as far as, you kind of stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You don't venture out too far, and there's a good chance if you do have the balls to venture out, you're going to be able to snag an 8 or a 9 that can
Right.
come on over and you can interview them or whatever.
Right. And when I say this sort of stuff, it's not like, well, it's not like I'm trying to be mean to you. It's just that I kept seeing this
You
issue.
son of a bitch.
You dirty whore. But it just kept being the scene of, like, again, like you said, content creators get in their comfort zone, they get stuck.
Mhm.
And the thing of it is, right, is where you have all this stuff out there, right, like the new age of technology. You have all these people out there that are the politics and all this stuff, and
Yep.
and the bias and all this stuff, and it's like everyone just gets stuck in their own echo chamber,
Yo, sure.
or people who agree with that, like
Mhm.
all that stuff. And for me, it's like, if I can do this well, I can have people on who, we can have disagreements. That's fine. I'm not here for a yelling match, obviously.
Yeah.
But but if we can have disagreements, and at that point right there, we can go away with something a little bit different and a little bit more than what we came in with, right?
Mhm.
It's just,
Mhm.
it's that cross pollination, I think, is the best way to put it. But yeah, it's just, it's the connectivity, the cross pollination, and to see where it goes. The free roaming, the free roaming crossover of a lifetime, even if it doesn't happen again. I think that
There you go.
it's about as legendary I could put. As like, he's that legendary. No,
The most legendary.
the most legendary. He said as he sat in his walker.
Yeah, that's correct.
But come on, camera! I hate when that happens. Hold on, I gotta turn it on and turn it
Well, I
off.
got excited. I was going to do a puppet show for you, but that's about the extent of it.
Are those real puppets too? Because I saw those in the video you showed me.
Yeah.
Is that you doing it?
I do. The entire show is literally in just me.
Mhm.
Occasionally, my friend on the show plays Havocs, but that's the only other human on the show. Everything else is just me doing voices, animation, CG characters, puppets, you name it. So like it's all just it's like an insane sanitarium in this place. It's just me talking to myself left and right constantly.
Insane sanitarium with a green screen. Now that's
Exactly.
something. So, what programs do you use to create your stuff? Because it's a lot of 3D modeling and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it depends. I'm not going to bore you to death with them. I'll kind of just give an overview because it can get very technical. For the most part, I use a program called After Effects, right? So After Effects can do some basic 3D. Primarily, it's for visual effects, compositions, and things like that, putting it all together to make that scene, right?
Right.
I use Blender, which is a free 3D modeling program. I do a little bit of Cinema 4D,
Mhm.
which is another 3D application. So my show has different. I go for different styles on the PandaSub end. It's supposed to harken back to the very late 90s, early 2000s look. So I go with programs that can kind of output a very low polygon kind of view. It looks way more fake. If I need to go ultra real, I'll go to Cinema 4D.
Nice.
So it's a lot of different programs for whatever that output requires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like I said earlier, you can tell when it's like you're going across in like the segue thing. You could tell you're really not there. you're just in this makes believe world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I know a lot of people use the green screen for like different background. Like this
Right.
this is real. All that stuff is real.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of money.
I hear ya.
Yeah. And I also know again they use it for your kind of stuff too, because a lot of different creatives do different things.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty, but it shows to your craftsmanship at least that you've put in all this time to, sort of shape and form this molded clay, and you're just like using all these programs to make your stuff, which is pretty awesome. It's something I can't do, obviously, and I'm really not. I'm not that. What's the word? Not outgoing, but it's more like I'm not that extravagant, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And nothing against, I'm not going to speak out against people who do. It's just for me, it's like the authenticity is more for me when you don't have a bunch of things. Now the intro video you saw and the outro video you'll see when we close out, those are by someone else, but he has allowed people to use it and not hit him with copyright. So I use it. And the artist's name is Pogo. If any of you in chat want to check him out, Pogo. He is from Australia, but he's made this kaleidoscope of Disney stuff. He actually did a commission for Disney for Up. The
Oh,
movie.
wow.
Yeah, so he made a music video called Upular, just using stuff from the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he has all this other stuff. There's stuff like there's a Terminator 1 just using sounds from Terminator 2. There's Sesame Street stuff. It's just a whole kaleidoscope of love. But there's people like that who have over time built this expertise like you have and just use these tools that are there. Like it's purely incredible just by seeing the time you've put in and the output you've put out from that point of time.
And it depends. Look, everyone's got their what they're trying to do. Everyone has a different output that they're looking for when they make content, right? You want to make something that's very, I imagine, right, very genuine. That feels like bare bones. This is me, and it's the conversation that matters. What's behind me is less important. I think you would agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm trying so hard to do is the polar opposite of that, right?
Right.
So first of all, I actually never, ever wanted to be on camera. I'm a behind-the-scenes guy. I've always been a behind-the-scenes guy. I am only on camera out of pure financial necessity as far as I can't hire someone to do it.
Right, yeah.
But I am typically a quiet, lone wolf guy that just does everything in the background. So what I'm trying to do on my channel is very different than I'd say almost 99% of what everyone else is trying to do on Rumble, which is be authentic, grow a channel that with a community about great conversations that are real, genuine, authentic, all that stuff. I'm trying to make like entertainment shows that harken back or feel like a G4 or something that kind of feels more like a show experience. That to me is more important for me than a genuine, real, what did you do today kind of conversation. And I'm not downplaying that. I'm saying that's just not what I'm trying to do.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. As far as me, what you're doing, the way you're doing it is exactly as you should do it. If you came in where you want that authentic conversation and you had space behind you and puppets, you would look insane because it has nothing to do with being authentic. That's almost like you're trying to showboat, like you're trying to throw out a lot of gimmick to hide the fact that there isn't much going on with you personally, right? Like I need all this crap. I need the bikini babe behind me so that you like me because I'm not enough.
Please.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and no, really though, you should use that fake Ryan Reynolds thing that might get you some. But anyway,
On it.
you should just have under PandaSub2000 your fake Ryan Reynolds or something like that.
Yeah, I will. Right after the stream, it's going up.
But I had another thought too, is like, because I know you do this stuff, and I was like, well, he calls it the show, his PandaSub2000, but I was wondering why he doesn't use Panda Express. But that's kind of taken, I kind of realize now it's kind of taken by a restaurant, but it's more like a train, like a Panda Express. But people are like, wait, why is he talking about Chinese food?
Well, that is the sequel. It is the Panda Express Train 2000. It's a long title. It's less adventurous. It takes longer to get to point A to point B. But that's the sequel. Look for that in the year 2040.
That's what they say about most men. But anyway, to the window.
Hey.
No, but I'm giving you all these great ideas, man. Yes,
You are. I'm going to steal them. All of them.
Just to be like, he stole my idea. Curse you. Or like Claw from Gadget. Curse you, Gadget.
That's not bad.
It doesn't work after a while because then you're like,
Oh, yeah, your voice is going to go. Yeah, I know. I hear you.
help me. But yeah, my thing with it all is create something that you can have fun with. Because again, a lot of these people, right, they you get to a point where they get money from it, right, to not have a full-time job or whatever, and it becomes a job because they have to keep it up, right? If it falls through or if there's not enough done, guess what? They have another job.
Yeah.
And I applaud the content creators that do more than just that, because again, it's either you build a business, you have more streams you go to or something, you add more, because again, that's sort of the thing, like they tell you like to have like a few different streams of revenue, right? Because again, nowadays it doesn't take very very far.
Yeah.
My wallet says I'm like, dude, get a napkin, jeez. But yeah, it's just have fun with it. Know that not everything is going to work out. There have been times I've asked people to come on, and they said, "Oh yeah, I'll check your stuff out." Never hear from again. Or I invite them on, and they have to reschedule, and nothing after that.
Sure.
So, that's why I'm trying to build my credibility. So if the word of mouth is big enough, I'm trying to make myself undeniable in that faction, right? Like you hear of me, like, oh, he's asking me to come on. But if I become undeniable in a sense, not like, what's the word? Not like dictatorial or whatever. It's just not like that. It's more of just like the presence of.
Sure. I get it. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Now you hear what I'm slapping down?
I hear it. I do hear it. But like that's the reason why like I wanted to, because look, I've gotten asked a million times, why do you put so much effort into what you're doing when like literally just farting on stream would get you way more followers. And my response is I don't know how to fart on command, because if I did, that's what I would be doing. But no, no, because for me, what I love doing is writing and making things. So that's why I do it. I'm not doing it to gain followers. I'm doing it because that keeps my sanity. Like I'm doing what I love to do. If it was just me talking on camera the way you are, which is great, I can't do what you're doing. I don't know how to do that. I'm not skilled at doing that. So I like making things. Right. So if there was a day where I had to stop making things, I just wouldn't have a show, because that's the whole purpose of it, is trying to come up with kind of unique ideas for shows, trying to build virtual sets and environments that are kind of entertaining for the audience to kind of get wrapped up in, things like that. That's the fun for me. It is not as some kind of gimmick to gain more followers. If there was no one here, I'd still be doing the exact same thing, basically. Right,
and that's a pretty awesome way of trying to, like you say, keep your sanity.
Yeah, and I need it. Yeah.
It's all going so mad.
Right on the brink of getting lost any minute now.
Yeah, it's See, so there were when I was doing it myself, but I was unsure. So when I do a solo stream, right, which it probably is a rarity nowadays because I'm doing more and more with people.
Mhm.
When I did it by myself, it was sort of like I can entertain myself to a degree. Like I could get an hour in. If I can get an hour in, done. I don't.
Mhm.
Doesn't need to be more, right?
Sure.
Because this was my thought, right? So you have people who are on 6, 7, 8, 9, and above hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you're someone who's watching that stuff, you can't watch more of their content within a day, right? Because again, it's too much time in one day, especially if you have
Sure.
other content creators to follow. So my thought was, if I created, the hour stuff, right? If I did around that time or whatever,
Mhm.
because the 4 hour, the 5 hour, that's all incidental organic, or
Sure.
organic incidental, whatever, accidental organic, whatever.
Yep.
Me words are not good. So, but if it's short enough, right? If you were to say you do like an hour show or stream or whatever, guess
Mhm.
what? The next hour show stream, you can have somebody watch both of those within a day's time.
Right.
That means more of your content gets
That's
watched, right?
smart. Sure.
Yeah. And I know not everyone can keep to it because again, if you're gaming, the more you put in, the more you get out of it. And for me, it's just like I gamed, but once I hit this thing, right, this conversational, this chat, whatever, light bulb.
Right. That was your interest.
That interested me more than gaming because it's like, yeah, I'm playing a game, but when you're playing a game, I really don't want to talk playing the game. I just want to play the game.
Right.
And even now, I don't have enough time to play a game. It's just like full-time job and then this and then
Sure. Sure.
nothing else. So yeah, it's just, yeah, I try to keep it as real as possible while understanding that you kind of have to update yourself once in a blue moon just to show that at least you're doing something to improve, right? Whether it be
Right.
whatever, and it can be anything. But for me, it's just like I enjoy doing this thing. I want to have big or small or not a creator at all. It doesn't matter. It's just people coming on, different perspectives,
Mhm.
and we can walk away just like we had a great time, and
Right,
that's the
absolutely.
point.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's simpler than pie.
Yeah.
Simpler than pie.
Yeah.
Even the pie, well, mathematical pie. It's
Yeah.
3.14. That's like no, I'm simpler than that. They just calm down. So, but also there's that feedback point too, right? Is that I have asked for some of the majority of the feedback I've gotten has never been asked, right? I've never asked for the feedback that I've been given. But when I have asked for feedback, it's sort of like it's kind of like tumbleweeds. So
Okay.
usually, oh, hey, look at him. Look at who's here.
How you doing there, geek?
Oh, that's right. He asked me something about a boat. He was asking me something about a boat.
I'm not answering that question. Geek, you son of a bitch.
I saw that. I was like, oh, because I saw your GIF return to that. I was like, Mary Tyler Moore, nice.
She's gorgeous, isn't she? Woo!
When she was that young.
Yes, I'm not saying now.
Well, I think she's dead now.
She might even be dead now. So they
Yeah.
even unless you're into some dark crap.
Look, necromancy is not my thing. I just no.
I was told that's what we'd be talking about today. I'm very, very.
Negro.
Yeah.
Why is he? Oh, that's.
I know they're big black.
That's funny. Why is he wearing a panda suit? Because he's a man. He's a man. You leave him alone. Leave that.
I wish my girlfriends knew I was a man. That's where I went wrong.
She tells you to take out the trash, like, not today. She's like, you better take out that trash. Like,
Yep. Damn it.
dang it, not again. She wins every time. It's because of all that nice stuff she does.
So you had attempted to do game streams, and
Yes.
you found it wasn't your cup of tea. You enjoyed the conversation more. I
Yes.
can tell you that I have always been roughly the same way. I use for my channel, and I never hide this. If anything, people who follow my channel will be the first to tell you I'm the worst at gaming because I barely do it. Because
Yeah.
I'm way more interested. I use the game as like a place to meet. Like, here's this thing. This is the topic roughly that we're going to be dealing with. And so you have people that that kind of come in for that topic. But really, what I'm more interested in is having fun with the chat. And yeah, we'll sprinkle in some gameplay because that's what we got to do. But
Right.
for me, it really is just about the way I'm looking at it is if I'm imagining these people are literally behind me while I'm playing a game, if they were actually in my home doing that,
Right.
it would be weird for me to keep my back towards them the entire time and just curse and mumble to myself about how shitty I am at playing games, right? I would much rather turn around and keep commenting to them about just how bad I am at video games, have some laughs with them, get to know them, see what they're all about. You know, that, like to me, that's what's interesting. That's what's fascinating. So I'm much more close with you on that front than I think that I'm rambling, but I think people who just play games, that is a talent that I do not have because I don't know how they're able to ignore the people behind them staring at them, right? And B, I don't know how they can keep that entertaining enough that people would continue watching them.
Right.
I think that's a gift that I do not have. I do not have that gift. So God bless those that can do it, but that's just not I'm more like you. I think it's much more fun to have the great conversations with the chat, goof around, have some fun, whatever, get enlightened, whatever that may be, than to just sit and play. Today we're playing, Fortnite or insert whatever game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, what you're saying is sort of remembers what Rance was trying to tell me is like the entry point, right, to attract people coming in because, it would be about DIY stuff, whatever. And I understood what he was saying, but for me, it's just like, but that's. I know what you're saying, but that's not what I'm aiming for because again,
I know, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
Yeah. Not to you, but to what Rance was saying, because it was sort of like, I get what he's saying, but at the end of the day, it's like it feels like, while he wasn't saying anything wrong, bad against me or whatever. He was saying, like that's just the thing he saw that in order to draw more people to you.
No, what you could do, how this, in my opinion, taking that same advice but applying it more to what you're trying to do.
Right.
It's more that if you had said, for instance, let's say you're doing a solo stream, if instead of a game you're playing, but maybe a topic that you want to talk about, whatever, Pepsi versus Coke, whatever the hell that thing is, right?
Right.
That is a way for people to come in. They kind of have an idea of, oh, okay, this is roughly what this stream is about today. I can maybe offer X or Y here. So I think if you do that, that's this taking the exact same advice except applying it more to what you do. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, and that I get. I've just left the field open in the conversation because I've always been surprised at where it can go. Right. So Alpha Zero Gaming I had on Friday night. Now obviously I couldn't stay too long because we were at like. Now it was a double stream. It was my PIF stream and him. So
like 5 hours, right?
Yeah, it was 5 hours. It was a total amount, but he was more 3.5 ish, and then the other one was like 7 to 10. So that was 3 hours, and I did maybe an hour and a half of the PIF, and then I was just like an hour and a half by myself talking to chat, whoever responded, and then I think it was about 3.5 hours of just chatting. There was no gaming, no nothing, whatever. And of course, part of that was with Alpha Zero Gaming. But there was a lot of stuff we went through talking about Australia itself, where there's a possibility of getting guns, but it's so stinking ridiculous to get a gun in Australia.
Yeah,
right?
Doing a lot in Australia stuff. Yeah.
And talking about him getting to gaming and how he is I think a professor for computer science. Computer science, I think it says, and all this other stuff. He knows martial arts, he knows all this stuff, and all the other people as well. Keeping it free flowing goes through doors you wouldn't normally go through unless you're like, because content creators I've seen, they pick a topic and they do go all over the place, but it's sort of like it's constrictive to the topics at hand, which I get. But for me, it's like, why not be the sounds of music, right? Why not be up on the hill, seeing where the conversation goes in the mountains?
In a beautiful dress. I absolutely agree.
I'm not going that far.
How I spend my Wednesdays. Yeah, no, it makes sense, man. Absolutely.
What's that reflection on Phoenix's camera? What?
That is just a bright light, if that's what
Oh.
you're talking about.
Oh, he's
Yes.
calling you Phoenix. Oh, okay. I was like, Phoenix? I've had someone on whose name
Yes.
Phoenix, but
That is my name,
oh,
Phoenix.
Phoenix? Oh, so you're not Panda. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh no, Panda Sub is my channel, but which totally Panda works. That totally works.
So that's 3 Phoenixes I know now. One I've had on, you, and then there's a lady on. So I will be guilty of this. I am a man. All right. There's a lot of
You son of a bitch.
there's a lot of pretty ladies on Twitter X, and one of them I follow. So I will explain it this way. She does have a OF, but it's more of she's using it the way it was supposed to be before all the big ladies started doing like the all nudity and stuff. Now she's using it for like conspiracy theories, talking about all this
Right.
other stuff.
Mhm.
But she's also she's a married woman. She's a mom and all this stuff. But she's a very lovely lady who is very outspoken for herself because
Okay.
she's an Alaskan who don't give a rat's behind. But if you've seen some of her pictures, yeah, that's all I'm gonna leave it at. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. But hey, Phoenix, yeah, no, I thought you were too, but now there's another Phoenix, so there's 2 Phoenixes.
So many Phoenixes. How you doing there, Phoenix?
Yeah, and she was a lovely lady too. She was on. She has a sewing show, and we talked about a whole different other stuff. So while I get the topic thing, the free flowing conversation stuff is where I've kept it at because it's just I've been surprised where we go with it, and I
Right.
think and I think people well there you go. See, you're welcome. I'm glad to have had you on, and again, everyone I've had on is always welcome back because there was a thought I had when the Rance was telling me about all this stuff, right? I thought, well, I was thinking of this way, right? Well, every time a person comes on, it's almost like we're building a story with each other, right? And every time they're on, it's just a chapter built into that. Now, obviously, there was someone I put it across and it didn't sound very well to them. They didn't want to feel like they're telling a life story or whatever. And I'm like, you don't have to tell your life story. It's just we're creating this because right now we are creating a time capsule of sorts as long as the platform keeps it there, allows it.
Yep.
But we're creating our time together of whatever fun we have, and if we come back, it's just another point of time of fun we get to have again.
Can you imagine if we spent the entire stream just farting on camera, and then that is the time capsule that aliens open? Yeah,
that
just
bean burrito's coming up again.
yep,
If you do
just
want
gripping chairs and farting. That's all we're doing.
I like there was a shirt. Hold on, I got a shirt went out a long time ago. Yeah, I have to do that because my camera gets blurry sometimes, or I move and it just like whatever. There was a shirt I had gotten a long time ago. I don't have anymore. It's called Beans, the Magical Fruit. The more you eat, the more you
Absolutely.
chew. Yeah.
Wise wisdom.
It's just I was like trying to make a musical number, like okay, a little more. But anyway, before we go any further, so thing I do with everyone here is at the top of the hour of every hour I have a guest on, I set aside some time for us to promote ourselves, right? Some people say shill, some people say grift. I'm like, those are kind of negative connotations, and
Yes.
we're all talking about going up, not down. So
Right.
promoting. So if you want to go, do your side first, now go afterwards, shoot your stuff.
I will shoot my stuff right now. Yeah, so I will say that if so as we were kind of talking about before, a lot of people on Rumble, a lot of people on YouTube, they do great live content, the way Darachat is doing it right here. If you're looking, and it's conversational, stuff like that, if you're looking for a G4-ish kind of experience, kind of more entertainment kind of show feels, things like that, less podcasty, much more kind of a big show experience, then I'd love for you to give PandaSub2000 a shot on Rumble. I would greatly appreciate that. We've got a ton of great shows on there. Right now, primarily we do a lot of discussions about gaming. Very soon we'll be moving into pop culture and even some politics. But yeah, always a fun time. Always, I think it's a unique experience that you'll have if you come to the chat. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, it's always a unique experience on your journey to content creation
Yes.
this summer. So, all right. Well, now that you've done, and I do have his links in the description below.
Thank you.
The link, he does have a link to his website, which has other links. So if you just want to go to his website one,
Yeah, that's everything there. Yeah.
yeah, it has everything there. It even has a dancing panda, I think. Anyway,
Correct.
anyway, so I stream to both YouTube and Rumble. I know people have their issue with YouTube. I know all the free speech stuff, but to be honest, I can't. I personally can't stream to one platform because it's that saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," right? Because if something goes down with Rumble, like they've had the DDoS stuff or whatever, guess what? You can't stream. You can't put anything up. You're earning money kind of goes silent for a bit.
Mhm.
Same thing with YouTube, right? If they demonetize you or they stop, copy strike you, whatever, you're kind of out. And so for me, I can't do one place. I understand. Maybe I'll add another. Don't know. But for right now, it's just YouTube, Rumble, at Daramuth. It's both the same no matter where you're at. But I also have a fan account, and I'll explain that in a bit. I have a fan account on Twitter X. I have a Discord at Daremouth, but it's just for DMing. I don't really have a server. And then I have my email, which is crazer6@protonmail.com. Whether it be the fan account on Twitter X, whether it be the Discord, whether it be the email. Those are three ways to contact me and ask, can I be on your show, right? So I've had people recommend it to me. I still go after people because, again, I'm not at that space where name recognition happens, right? Like I just don't have that credibility yet, but I'm trying. Continue on, try. So if you want to come on, try those three spaces, or if you don't want to, leave a comment on any side where the video's at, right? Just leave a comment and I'll get with you, right? Because funny thing is I have Geek on next Monday, so
Ooh, I love Geek.
yeah, you'll get to see his craziness. Now,
I saw your Pay It Forward
Yes.
interview with him. That's the only time you were with him, right, on your channel?
I was on an episode with him on his Rumble
Right.
raid,
Okay, yeah,
but
the raid. Yeah. Mhm.
he does something a little different than what I do. So, but that's fine. Do whatever you want. But for me, it's just like I don't care if they see me. Like I said before, I don't care if they see me or not. It's paying it forward without any expectation. All right, that's my thing.
All right. Now this is critical. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Continue, and then I've got a question.
Yeah. So anyway, the fan account, Twitter X, the Discord at Daremouth, or the email. 3 ways to contact me. If not that, then leave a comment, because at the end of the day, this door is open for just about anyone. I'm not here for arguments. I'm not here for debates. Those things are for the birds. And you already heard Panda say he likes watching the birds. So,
The only thing I love doing.
but with this sort of thing, right? We can come to a place of disagreement. We can walk away still having fun, still laughing, still enjoying life, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who want to be negative, they want to be destructive, and they want to literally put someone in a space of EOL. That's a computer technical term, if you know what that means. So end of life. But I just can't do those things. So I don't care about bad actors. I don't care about bad trolls. The people just want to destroy. I'm here for people who want to have a conversation just about anything. And you saw it's been an hour and we've gone all over the place. And Panda's a really good talker. Look at him. He is the fake Ryan Reynolds. It's here. It's right here. It's right here.
Your poor man's train wreck, Ryan Reynolds. There you go. You're welcome, ladies.
No wonder his nose is crooked.
Yep. Okay. Here's my question for you.
Yes, sir.
I am dying to hear how you have made a fan account of yourself. Please indulge. I would love to hear how that worked.
Okay, children, gather around.
I'm
The
ready.
story has been told for miles around. I didn't mean that rhyme, but that's just what happened. So I did have an account before on Twitter X, and of course this was during when Elon's still owning it, right?
Okay.
So I had it for I don't know how long. I was named something else, and then I renamed it Daremouth because obviously you want to have a consistency across platforms, right? Like you do with Odyssey, whatever. So I renamed it, and it still had that handle at Crazer6. But something happened. So one day, I woke up and I was going to that account, and all of a sudden I see this thing. It says, "You have been suspended. Blah 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 blah. Submit an appeal." And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what happened, but I'll submit an appeal. So I submitted an appeal, right? I'm asking like, I don't know what's going on. I
They didn't give
don't.
you a reason.
They didn't give me a reason at all. It was just, you know, we did this thing. Submit an appeal if you think we got it wrong. So I submitted it, asking what did I do wrong, what rule did I break, what's the recourse, right? Can I do a recourse?
Yeah.
Guess what I got in return?
Go F yourself.
Twitter reserves the right. Not X like Elon wants. It's Twitter reserves the right. So I'm on my 11th or 12th appeal. Same answer.
All right.
So when that had happened, and that was probably maybe within the same day, right? I had to create a fan account because, again, yes, it's not Facebook or whatever, but Twitter X still has this special mojo, right? Where it's the place, right? It's that cool diner the kids used to go back to in the 60s, right? It's like everyone would go there, drink or whatever, here's the news of the town.
Mhm.
But it was just like I let it go for a while. I was like, okay, whatever, just fine. And I was like, but I still kind of need it because that's a place of connection. That's the place where the kids are going to, so to speak. And yeah, and there are kids going to that as well. But so I created the fan account. Now the name Veramoose is the name I created a long time ago. It was sort of the lead into Daramoose. So if you don't know, Daramoose is based off a word, alcoholic word, right? Or an alcoholic drink.
I've heard your explanation of this, yes.
Okay. And I was like, when people say it, they say Daramouth. I'm like, but there's a silent E. There's a silent E at the end.
Yes.
And Vermouth doesn't have a silent E, but it still sounds the same, right?
Right.
Right. So, but yeah, so that's what happened. Twitter X suspended me. No recourse, no reason whatsoever. And even though Elon said we would have some sort of amnesty or something, right? And then he's like, it's a place of free speech. But I'm like, if I can't get an answer about why I've been shuttered out, I don't know. You times you get the warning, right? Like you said this thing, you're locked out for 12 hours, or if you can delete this tweet and whatever, and that has happened in the past, but it didn't happen this time. So I had to create the fan account in order to get around it, and a lot of people have created multiple accounts just to get around it. But at the end of the day, it's like people for Twitter X. I call it Twitter X because my thought was it's Twitter going into the future. Some people still call it Twitter. Elon wants to call it X. It's just going into the future. But then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna call it Twitter X to be annoying. And also because it just sounds like it should be called that. But people tend to forget. Elon said freedom of speech, but not of reach, right? And from this is my point of view, so take it as a grain of salt if you want. But any platform calling themselves freedom of speech really can't be because again they have to respond to other countries, right? See the thing with Brazil, right? You see that Elon is trying to we're not going to listen to him or whatever, but we're probably going to lose or whatever. It's like, well, that's great, but what happened about the people who are on your platform already, who are getting wrongfully suspended? And they're saying, Elon, look at myself. What?
Right.
And then don't forget his CEO, the CEO lady who has connection to WEF, right? The thing people just don't like at all, WEF. She said, lawful, but not awful. You have two very contriving things here. How is it freedom of speech if someone like me is being tossed out and there's no reason given?
Right. Agreed. Absolutely.
It's almost like there was a skit done by Jordan Key and Peele, if you know them. There was a skit called where he's done this thing like front hand or backhand. And the guy is just this idiot. Was like, "What's this game we're playing? We're gonna play front hand or backhand." It's like front hand, and he just takes a front hand, and for the first few times it's funny, but then it gets dull and just kind of serious because dude, we were just playing around with you. You don't have to keep going with this. Backhand. It's like that's what it feels like being on Twitter X, right? Like, great for Elon, he bought it, great, whatever, but it's still not far from the Jack Dorsey stuff.
Sure. To an extent, I can see that point.
To an extent, yes, to an extent. But for me, it's just no answer given, no reason given. I can't even get an amnesty, and I still get the same Twitter reserves the right. Okay, Okay, Twitter. Well, I'm gonna play a different game. So that's why I call it a fan account, because Twitter X decided to be this amalgamation of free speech, but not really.
Now, in
So
all honesty, how often do you write yourself fan mail?
uh, when I get sad, it's like,
Okay, you get clickety clackety. You're my sunshine. Please send nudes, things like that. Okay,
dear
got it.
David, I enjoy your soul. Please contact me. Come on. Thank you so much. Thank you. No, I don't do that, but I know it's kind of confusing in a sense, because it's like, but your name's not. Well, that's the reason why, because Twitter X likes to be this amalgamation of something that it thinks it is, but it's not truly that, or it
Right.
can't be that because it's not fully theirs, right? Like I think Twitter X, whatever, their servers are not their own; they are
Mhm.
Amazon's.
Right, which is crap. Yeah.
Which is like, wait a second. If Rumble's willing to build its own and not be on AWS, right? And you're
Mhm.
on AWS, who's the free one here? No,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Rumble has its pitfalls, and it kind of needs to be called out from, especially
Sure.
the creator payout stuff, which had been an issue for quite some time, and it still maybe is. I don't know.
Oh, I haven't heard of that. That's fun. What's going on? Spill
So-
the juicy tidbits.
So I think Geek could lend word to it, but there are a lot of. So let's do the partner program, right? The partner program that was on not too long ago.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, you're on Monday the 15th. Don't forget, Geek, or I have to.
I
slap
love
you.
that. That's so geek. Oh, dude, I was on Monday. Whoops, totally blew my mind. Forgot that.
Yeah,
That's great.
He's put down the ganja, man. Put down the ganja. But where was I at? I can't remember. I lost my train of thought. I was like in the moment, right? If I can't be Geek, I'm
You were-
lost.
You were talking about, so first of all, Big Block, I agree completely with what Big Block just
Oh
said.
yeah,
but,
I see that.
but to get you back on track, you were talking about the partner paid program.
Oh yeah. The creator payout. So and this was before, but I'm trying to give an example of where to go to. So a lot of content creator payout people, after the whole program was over with, were
Okay.
having trouble receiving their pay. Some received it.
Was
some
it in
did
like
not.
Monopoly money? Did they get?
Uh,
Did,
no,
you just
they
got a
got-
little red hotel. You're like, you're welcome, son.
No, they got the ones who received it got their 500, but the others were still, other people were still waiting. There was JT Pixels, there was Gilch, Dad Gamer, something like that, his name, and a few others as well. No, I'm sorry, Geek was not part of the partner program. I forget.
Ouch.
But the thing was, you had some of these people, and even before all this, there were content creators who weren't getting their pay. Yeah, I know. I just needed the wording of, because some people weren't getting their pay from it. So there are a lot of content creators on Rumble who weren't getting their pay from Rumble,
Okay.
right? And so it was a difficulty. I saw two people who were like, we went the route we were supposed to. We went through support. We told them, and we didn't get anything back after that initial go. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound right. It shouldn't be this much of an issue. Like, I know they only have two options to repay. It's like the Canadian check, right?
Mhm.
The Canadian spelling of check, and then PayPal. know
I
that
still
we-
don't understand that. That's something we have to talk about later. It's like, why the hell are they using PayPal? But anyway, continue.
Yeah, well, I know when Chris Pavlovsky was on the interview with Quartering, he did say they are looking into more options. It's just right now, it is what it is.
Right.
But for the content creator payout, a lot of content creators were still having issue of not getting their pay. There is a hit requirement on Rumble you have to hit to either cash out or get the check, whatever. But the thing of it is, right, is when they hit it and they went through the proper course in order to figure out what's going on, they still weren't getting it. And
Interesting.
so it took one of the partners that was on it, the glitch father, whatever, it took him saying something in order to get Chris Pavlovsky's attention. And then Pavlovsky said, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to get resolved or whatever. And then not I think not 24 hours after, they started getting their pay.
Okay.
And my thing is like, an answer from Rumble should not take more than a week of getting your pay,
Hmm.
right? Because you are messing with people's thing. They're earning money through your platform. Rumble takes a cut, obviously, not the monthly subs, but they take a cut from the rants and stuff.
Mhm.
That money that they've earned through your platform, that is theirs outright. You have stated that as such.
Yeah.
But when they get it is an issue, and going through support doesn't always work. Putin bot I've had on took him 3 months. Took him 3 months. Rants
Yikes.
took him about the same amount of time. Now he was nicer about it, but he got their time, but it still took him around 3 months. 3 months. Some people are still waiting. I don't know how many, but the two I talked to, they were one, I think it was a few weeks back. One was like waiting since January, and the other had been waiting for a quiet period of time. So whether they got it or not now, I don't know. After the partner people got their pay after that whole thing with, getting Chris's attention, it something happened, but it needs improvement.
Rumble does a lot right, and there's still a few things that they do oddly wrong.
Yes. So and Big Block has it right. Rule number 1: don't mess with people's money. Rumble wouldn't want people messing with their money, so why would you mess with your creators' money when they've earned it past the point of requirement, right? Because you have to hit a requirement. And then Geek has it took forever to get my first payout, but it's not money I was counting on, so who cares? Yeah, I have a full-time job, so I'm not worried. But some people make a living out of this. They go full-time. Guess what happens if they can't get their pay? Well, they're not going to stay on the platform anymore.
Mhm.
Why should they if they aren't getting paid? That's something that has to be improved. I made 10 times more in Rumble than 10 years. Understandably so, but it's getting your pay on time or within a reasonable time, right? Like they don't really give a time date of when you get your pay. So, but that was just my big thing. That's a big red flag concern. If I see it again, I will keep bringing it up because maybe YouTube has it, maybe Twitch has it as well. But my thing is no platform, whatever platform you're on, that you should take that crap. If it's your money you earn through that platform, stand up because they're in the wrong. As long as you have the evidence to show that you've earned that money through the platform and not like these troll people or whatever, which can happen. It's dumb and it needs to change because if you want people to have trust and trust in your transparency, then you need to be upfront about it and say, we've seen the issue, we're going to work on it, get it done. And don't keep them up to date, but don't give them the false hope scenario where it's like, oh, well, we've done this or whatever. So, but yeah.
Have you ever contacted Rumble support?
I have, in the sense of, well, I've done 2 ways, right? There's with Rumble Studios, they have their own support, and with Rumble support, I have. So I haven't had issues with either or.
They've gotten back to you?
Yes, but it's not been about money. It's not.
No, I'm not saying about money, just in general.
Yeah, just in general. So they have gotten back to me. Like I had an issue of like, well, there was something like I got charged twice, but then I got asked them like why was I getting charged twice? And they said, well, we finally got up to charging you for something you got in the past. So like, okay, that's fine. Even though I don't know why it took that long. Okay. Oh, and Geek here is my last one took maybe a week. They'll support people a lot. Yeah, that's true.
My experience with support is always very consistent.
Mhm.
They're very quick to respond, even faster to not answer the question. So like, thank you for sending this to us. Wow, that does sound really, that doesn't sound like that's good. The end. Like, I never get they'll give me, like, so I'll give you an example.
Sure.
I've had 2 problems. One problem is I cannot see who follows me. I never can see it. Just impossible. And then 2, this has been a long-standing issue with me and Rumble, is I keep asking them, can you please put on your upload page the requirements for how to get your desired results, i.e., if I want to have a 1080p resolution video, what do I need? How do I need to encode it? What are your parameters to achieve these things?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
No response on anything. They always say we're getting on it, and then I never get a response. So they're very quick in getting to me and letting me know that they've got my message. They never follow through. They'll give like a real easy answer like, oh, check your settings. Like, no, dude, I've checked. Here's my settings, and then you never hear from them again. So that's been my issue with Rumble. I love Rumble to death. On 90% of things, it's that 10% that they really fall hard on that 10%. Like they do so many things right, and that 10%, like there's no middle ground. It's a bad 10%, a great 90. So when they can hopefully start balancing that out a little bit, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Rick Rack does keep people, does update people on the tech stuff like the raids. We've got raids now. I believe they're gonna start working. They're gonna do gifted subs in the future because I know that's a thing people want, especially people coming from YouTube over to Rumble to do that, right? So, so you have that, and then you have Rick Rack and all that stuff, and obviously people complain to Rick Rack, and they shouldn't because he's only in charge for one section, right? Go to support. If it's not support you're getting, it's and the funny thing is like they have an email for moderation, they have an email for finance. So you really should condense that down because you don't need to have these emails going to people. It should be to support and only support.
Sure.
If I have to go to the top, I'm going to Chris to get something done because that's I know many people aren't political or whatever, but in the book The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump, he describes a situation where instead of going to an underling, which he did at first, he went all the way to the top to get something done.
Yep.
Because these underlings weren't getting their job done. They give him a runaround or whatever. When he went to the top, it got done. And if people have to go to Chris, and I know it's probably annoying him or whatever, if people have to go to Chris to get something done, then you do it. Because it should not be this way. Now, obviously, stupid stuff. Like really stupid stuff like tech situations, whatever, try support first, all right? Or Rick, whichever, because Rick is the tech stuff, right? But if it's money thing and it's not getting resolved, you're going through support like you should at first because you do not want to give them an excuse to say, but you didn't go through support first. No, you go through support first, you keep that paper trail or email trail, and when it doesn't work, you ping Chris and you say, Chris, my money is in your place. I'm not getting the answer. Need a reply. And that's what Glitch did. The dad gamer. He did that.
Did the second round of partnership, was that any better with that money situation?
Well, like I was saying, some got their money right away and some.
Okay, this was even on that second round.
Yes,
there was
even on the second round. Okay, and here's one from Big Black. To be fair, probably harder than first level tech supporters, but the answer he's very knowledgeable. I could agree. I can agree with that. There's probably, again, I don't know how big the teams are at Rumble for each area, so they could still be working on a bare bones skeleton crew. I don't know, but you have to up your customer support. I know there are people who abuse it, probably abuse it.
Yes,
I know there are people who probably troll it, but at the end of the day, to be able to discern, and this is where I had the idea of having an ambassador, right? Like, yes, you have these people who are contracted by Rumble, right? And some of them haven't been great. They're just mostly for skimmers, like bring eyes to the platform, whatever. But if you had an ambassador, right, who could be a forego of like asking questions, and you could direct, the ambassador could direct you go here, ask the questions here, all that stuff, or whatever. Because it's great when Rick gives us updates. That's fine. It's great when other content, the other people at Rumble give us updates. That's fine. But at the end of the day, they need to concentrate on the work, right? Their job is to improve the platform, to make sure it works well. And sometimes, especially with the DDoS stuff, right, that stuff slows down, stuff hiccups, the sound goes awry, all that stuff. Focus. Oh, he's just saying hello. Never mind. They need to. Rick does a great job of answering for like what needs to improve on the platform. Like many people complain the UI needs improvement, but they never get anything else after that. That's on them, right? That's not on Rick or them. You need to be descriptive. If you have an issue, they need as much information as possible because that's troubleshooting, right? Technology, you need as much information as possible to troubleshoot because if you're just going to like computer not working, not powering on, what were you doing? It wasn't powering on. I need a little more information. Even I got a certification in CompTIA Plus, and I at least know troubleshooting requires some more information, even if you have to do digging yourself.
What I wish Rumble would do, like if I could have a day of insert some advice to them,
Right.
it would be, let's stop focusing on like all these things we want to do, right? Like
Yeah.
that'll come.
Mhm.
Now it's time to, you've got a platform that's working really well, great people, great channels, everything's great.
Mhm.
You need to start really finalizing the features that are already in place. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So instead of giving me the option to have an animated logo, okay,
Mhm.
how's about you give people support, emoji support on their phone? Like you've made this feature, okay, everyone gets emotes. That's awesome. I love that idea.
Mhm.
Now build that idea out, flesh that out before moving on to the next big thing.
Right.
Make sure that people on their mobile phones can have that. Make
Right.
sure that people can subscribe on whatever that thing may be. Like flesh out those ideas fully, entirely, then move on. What they keep doing, in my opinion, is they're scattered all over. All these big, I want to do this and this and this and this, and nothing is getting finalized. It's just
Right.
all these big things.
Mhm.
And so in that situation, you have my main gripe with them, which is that uploaded videos are 480p. It is the year 2024, and we're using technology from like the beginning of the 2000s here, right? So focus on getting that, because if you can do that, you're going to get a lot of people from YouTube excited, because there are a lot of people on YouTube that are not interested in live content. They make great edited content, and we would
Yeah.
love to have them on here. But when you bring it here and it's getting downgraded to 480p,
Yeah.
that's, my goal is to make the platform better. It's not
Yeah.
to just be just annoying with just saying you need to do better here. No,
Mm.
it's I want it to do better, and I would like Rumble to be my only platform. It's hard to do that when they're scattered, what appears to be scattered in their approach of what they're doing.
Yes.
They're not totally and completely finalizing the content that they have at the moment right now. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. No, and to speak to your thing about the emoji stuff, right? So that was a question I did find I someone else asked, and Rick did give an answer. He said it's some on the line of like it would take a lot of time and effort to put into for the app stuff, right? Like for the because I think it's apps is where people were complaining that there weren't any emojis for.
Right. So then don't include that feature until you're ready. That's my point. Like get focused on what you're trying to do. You want to make because then you're just confusing your audience.
Right.
You're like, because if I say on stream, okay, you have emotes, and then people go, no, we don't. This creates confusion.
Yeah.
So work on something that's going to, when you have an idea, make sure it's cross-platform, your
Right.
mobile devices, your web devices, your TV device, all that stuff. You get that good. Then you move on to the next big thing. Because what they're doing is they're just going what appears to be all over the place, but
The
confusing
popular.
your audience.
Right. I think part of it is trying to get what people are asking for, right? The raids was
Mhm.
asked for, the gifted subs, which I think is another thing in the works. And Mr. Matthews, the edited video friendly part of that's going to rely on the recommendation engine, which they are in the process of working on. Rick did show a example of what would be. So that, because again, that falls with the shorts as well, right? If you post a short, not like YouTube short, but if you post a short like under a minute or whatever, the recommendation engine would help with that. Not take care of it, but it would help with being seen more. Because again, they do have the issue, right? Edited videos, pre-recorded videos, whatever, they don't get enough attention. I started out with that stuff, barely got any views, right? Because live streaming is where it's at right now. But with that engine that will come out, hopefully sometime this year, hopefully, I think it will, that will help with discoverability for pre-recorded videos, shorts, stuff of that nature, and live streams. That was the three things that Rick had said: live streams, pre-recorded videos, and shorter content, sort of thing. So that they do know. Yeah, that I can see. There's a lot of like when someone gets a lot of donos, right? The donos can block you from seeing the chat itself. You have to pop out the chat in order to see the chat. So if you can't see it from the app, yes, but from web, like from mobile web, it's hard to see it because it's just whatever. But yeah, no, you're not wrong.
That's my
yeah.
point. Like if you introduce a new feature,
Mm,
in my opinion, it makes more sense to say, here's this new feature, and it's on all platforms. It's on mobile, it's on TV, and it's on browser.
mhm.
You get those things done. You get them done as good as you possibly can. Then you move to the next feature. Because what happens is when you just go scattershot,
Yeah.
it's very confusing because I can't tell you how often I'm saying something on stream like, okay, well, for people on browser, you can do X. For people on TV, it's Y. And if you're on mobile, it's Z. Right? It's all these different things. So I look. They're in a much better financial place than I am. So as I always say, never take advice from me.
Yeah.
But it appears if I'm running a company,
Right.
I want to try to make the best possible thing. I get it perfect. Then I release that thing.
Mm,
Okay, check. Moving on to the next thing. And
right.
so for me, before they start working on recommendations, I think they should be working on the infrastructure to make sure that the videos are not 480p because
Right.
like that's important to someone coming over to the platform who looks and loves edited content. Okay, you've recommended this video to me, but it's coming in at 480p. Well, on YouTube it was 1080p or 4K.
Yeah.
So you're already giving me a bad experience, right? So get that infrastructure done first, then start adding bells and whistles to it would be my suggestion to them because I keep saying I want this platform to do good. I'm saying this
Yeah, me too.
for the benefit of I'm hoping the platform gets better. That's what I want.
Yeah, me too. It's like I'm not. There are people who do come at Rumble, Rick, everyone with anger, right? Now, obviously, you can't just tell from word alone, but if you have people like who have been burnt out, let's say they try to get support help or whatever, and they're not getting it, I can understand that frustration. So there's
Sure.
people frustrated or whatever. At the end of the day, though, it's like you kind of have to be. I've always been the case like I will praise Rumble when it does great. I will admonish Rumble when it does poorly. And again, the creator payout was a poor thing. I don't know how having more payment options will work. I don't know the system because that requires a financing and that's a whole lot of legal stuff. I just don't have any mind of. But the
Mhm.
thing of it is, right? We don't see the behind the scenes stuff, right? So we don't get to see what they're focusing on or why they're focusing on it, whatever. I know that Chris was trying to get the Rumble Cloud out because they need to get money in because they were in the red, I think, like last year, whatever, which is great. And a lot of people have bought stock, myself included. But the thing of it is, right, it's like you said, there needs to be a focus. Instead of just being like the sun, right? Instead of just being like the sun, shooting your light everywhere, your flashlight or a laser. You're focused. Now, obviously, you can be focused on a few things at a time because if you're only focused on one thing, you're wasting all your resources on that one thing. Don't know how much resources they have, don't know how many teams they have. I know that their Rumble Studios team is separate from Rick's team, right? Whatever Rick's in charge of, and their support's different from all that. So they do have teams, but it feels like there's so many teams and so many different emails to them that they're not condensed. It's like go to support and go through that route, and that should be the contact, right? It's like
Mhm.
community managers or ambassadors or whatever. They are the contact support. Let them be the update of like we've got it too, or like a support ticket, right? Or whatever. We've gotten two, we're getting this stuff out. Here you go. And they keep you up to date. Not like every second of every day. No one wants that ridiculousness. Just keep in contact, right? And I know that's a lot of people to keep in contact with, but if there's a lot of people with the same issue, you can just block email or whatever. I don't know what you would call that, or just a what's the word? Not spam, but just a big one. And
This is such a great comment because this actually and maybe Hans, you can enlighten me because I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. So you're probably right about this. What confuses me, and I'm saying this legitimately, this is not loaded. I don't understand.
right,
From an idiot perspective, i.e. me, what I don't understand is how can a live stream sit on the servers forever at 1080p or 4K, whatever it is,
right,
and that can sit there forever, no problem. But an edited upload, that can't, right? Like, so typically live streams are way longer than if someone made edited content. Usually an edited
Yeah.
content, like on average, what's like 10, 20 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that clip, oh, well, that's going to get technical because it's, let's say an hour content on YouTube.
Right.
That's going to come in around 480p for most people. But a 5 hours live stream can sit there forever at 1080p. That's where I'm confused. That's the part I don't understand. I would think it would be cost more money for the 5 hour live stream than it would be the hour.
Yeah.
But again, I don't understand this stuff.
Yeah. And I would like to say that Hans is also a recipient of the PIF stream. So there you go. But yeah, no, you're not. And like you were saying, Rumble Rant's probably bringing more than revenue. And the thing of it is, right, is they don't have a lot of people who are doing ads on Rumble, right? Because because of the position they've taken. You know, they're not going to get any, you know, cereal. They're not going to get any seal thing, any Coke, you know, ads. They're not getting any of that stuff because those go against, you know, their thing. Those whatever.
Then
So-
just say it. Like that's all I ask. The
Yeah.
only thing I've ever requested from Rumble to do, I've been like really kind on this. I
Right.
just said, okay, all you need to do, Rumble, and then we're good, is just put on the upload form if your video is longer than 45 minutes, whatever their thing is, their technical specification. If it's longer than 45 minutes, it's going to come in at 480p. Just let us know up front, and then let us decide. But the fact it's a mystery and that it's not told to anyone angers people when they come over. I can't tell you how many content creators I've known who came over here thinking that they can move here, and then they put their videos up and it's 480p, and that angers them. When just a little disclaimer would help. That's all I want. If we could just have that, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, and there's Hans' answer for you right there, on screen if you can see it.
I agree what you say makes sense, but I doubt they are doing it for no reason. And sure, and they don't need to tell me that, but that they're losing out on, they're potentially losing out on a market that wants to come over here. Now, again, if it turns out they don't want that market, like let's say they want to be more of a Twitch than a YouTube, again, totally get it. Just be upfront about it. Just say that we're focused on live. You know, if you want to put something on here that's less than 45 minutes, it'll be 1080p, whatever that is. Just be vocal about it. That's it. That way we know our options.
Yeah,
that would go a long way. That's all I'm asking.
because that would also exclude shorts, because then people wouldn't post shorts, and that would, and I think, and for me, that you're right. If you don't want edited videos, if you don't want but again, with what Rick said about the recommendation, it seems like they're going to keep that there. And for me, I'm all for you, of course. Be upfront. We don't.
That's it. That's all we need.
We don't need trade secrets. We don't need code secrets. We don't need any of that stuff. We just want you to be honest about why can't we have videos with different resolutions, right? Why are we unable to have that? Is it because you don't have enough servers? Is there not enough money for servers? I think if they get too honest, I mean, there was a time where one of them did say, you know, Rumble is very transparent, or at least we're told so. And I'm like, that's great, but you still have other stuff you're not transparent on. Create a payout. You're not very transparent on it. You have these rules or whatever, but when people can't get it, they go to support, they do the right thing, and they don't get it. There's still the untransparency, like with your stuff. They're not getting this resolution thing. And another thing too, right, is like for me, memberships right now in Rumble don't mean much. Right?
I wish you could get more out of it. I wish you could offer your audience like videos, specifically for. I wish you could do a little bit more, but that would be awesome.
And the thing of it is, though, they own locals,
right?
Which does that.
Yes, I know. This is why. Again, this is what I said before. Rumble does 90% better than anyone else, and just that 10%. Boy, they really. You're just going. What are you doing? Like you're halfway there. What are you doing?
Yeah, and with this, yeah, my question would be to Chris is, because they have a headquarters in Canada. That's where they started out, and then they have a headquarters in Florida. And my question would be to Chris is any legislation that Canada does, will that affect Rumble? Because if it does, then they need to get out of Canada completely.
Oh, I would imagine my guess, and it's a guess,
Yeah.
is that it doesn't, because I think Rumble would already be breaking every Canadian, law there is. They're under some pretty dark times over there, or at least it appears from afar.
Yeah. They do have. I think their servers for the Rumble Cloud is also in America as well. My thing is like I wouldn't, because I still have an HQ in Canada. Will that still affect Rumble somehow? Because if those rules, that legislation affects Rumble from Canada, I wouldn't. I would be very hesitant to put bets on Rumble, because then it's like, well, Canada then still has you by the balls, and that kind of puts Chris on thin ice.
Sure.
So, but yeah, there are a lot of good things they do, and there are a lot of things that they either aren't talking about.
They mostly do things great.
Yeah.
Mostly do things great.
The tech stuff is great, but we need focused what's the word? Focused attention on stuff. Back end stuff, right? We need focused attention on back end. And Rick, and to give Rick credit, he has done a great job with his team, because they're doing a lot of stuff within a small amount of time. Let's do a comparison, right? YouTube started in 2005, and I think they got bought out by Google by 2006, 2007.
Mhm.
So we're just going to start with 2005. 8 years after, Rumble starts in 2013, right? Beginning of stage. So right there, YouTube has 8 years plus Google, right? Of all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and there's a big difference too, and a large sum of money that
Yes,
Rumble would not have.
An almost ungodly, unlimited amount of money.
Yeah.
Now, taking into account that it's been probably 4 or 5 years that Rumble has started really, 4 to 5 years that Rumble started really gaining momentum. To, I think it was after they got in the stock market public, right? That he went public with Rumble. Once that influx of cash came in, that's when Rumble started to build up their stuff and get better, right? So
Sure.
YouTube has 8 years plus on
Money.
Rumble, right? And
Yeah.
but everyone wants. Almost everyone wants Rumble to be a YouTube copy, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that YouTube does right, but they've had years to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Rumble is getting there within a short amount of time, within maybe 3 to 4 years. That's a lot to fit in, to think about.
Mm-hmm.
We can complain about all this stuff, and we are rightly so in that. But just think, 3 to 4 years compared to 8+ years by YouTube. That's a lot to be impressed by. And majority of it is maybe not with the beginning of Rumble, but when Rick came in, he started, getting this stuff up. So to give them credit on that. But again, like you said, it's scattered focus. It's scattered focus, and we need
Yes.
some ability to that recommendation engine. Yes, we edited videos need to have some way of being recommended, because right now it's only through your following. Do they get seen?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Shorter content like I'm putting out now, you kind of need to have the amount of people following you in order for it to get seen, even if it's just one person. Clarification on creator payout needs to happen. Better support, or at least improved support, or renovation on support, whatever. Rumble creators like yourself and I, we want Rumble to be better. I've bought into this
Yes.
stock because I believe in its possibility, and it's
Mhm.
getting there.
Mhm.
But sometimes you kind of have to point out in a very gentle way, not like angry all the time like some people do. You just like, hey, Rumble creators aren't getting paid. What's going on? They're not getting paid within a reasonable time. Hey, Rumble, resolution. When are we getting better resolution? Hey, Rumble, why are our videos not getting recommended, or why are videos seeming like they're? Because I there's one content creator I followed, like, and he said his videos were getting shadow banned. I'm like, how are your videos getting shadow banned when there's no way of them to get recommended, right?
Right.
It's just like if you're, because he's from YouTube, right? So if you're on YouTube, you're not going to you don't have the same amount of following. You don't have the same amount of people viewing those videos like you would on YouTube. So it's going to appear like it's shadow banning, but it's not. It's just when you're multi-streaming, when you're multi-platting, like someone like yourself, you kind of have to put in the work. You have to put, I'm on these platforms, like I did earlier at the hour, right?
Mhm.
You're on these platforms. You've got to put in the work. I don't care if it's not on Rumble. I don't care if it's not on YouTube. There are so many other platforms. Use them. create your safety net, because sooner or later, Rumble's probably going to hit worse than that. And I'll say this: if ISPs get involved, forget content creation as a whole. Google and YouTube may survive it, but everyone else, forget it. You'd have to play ball in order to stay alive. So, and until that happens, we're good. But once they hit ISP, like yours and mine and everyone else's, it'd be a dark day. He'd be like going back to the story.
Yay!
Honey, where are the rocks again? It's going to start the fire. But yeah, we want Rumble to. Here we go. There we go. It's big black. Time issue. But maybe, possibly, we don't know, and that's the issue we have, is we don't have an upfront. We don't have that transparency, right? They talk about transparency in some degree, but not that transparency.
Well, this is again goes to my point.
Right.
If let's say that hypothetically was the issue, then it's what I'm saying is maybe not the best time to have contests where you offer people money to do the thing, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, focus on doing X, Y, and Z the best you can. That way they are done, and then you can move on to the next big thing. I'm noticing that Rumble is just shotgun blasting ideas, which is great, into the air.
Yeah.
And which is great and appreciated, and a lot of these new features are awesome, but it really does feel just very scattered, and it doesn't feel like there's a very dedicated actual plan that can be mapped out and say, by this point we're going to achieve this, and da-da-da-da. And I think if they could do that, and I say this with all the love and hope that they can get this resolved, then I think your platform is better. Where right now I think it just does seem a little directionless. And hey, I'm impressed what they were able to do with directionless.
Yeah.
But I think it would do them better if they got onto a path and said, okay, here's the roadmap. This is what we're doing, and we're sticking to that. We'll get to all that other stuff later. We've got to make this perfect now.
It's like that ADHD kid who's like,
Yes.
oh, look, shiny object. Look, shiny object.
No, it really reminds me of me, right? Like it reminds me of me, how I work, except again, I'm thankfully not running a huge company where, but that's how I'm like, oh, wouldn't this be cool? I want to do this and I want to do this. And then, I'll say, okay, it's coming out in a week. And it's like, no, 8 months later it's coming out because I'm a wreck. I'm just all over the place. So I know the excitement of wanting to do bigger things, and I get it. But a guy like me needs a producer to say, dude, calm it down before you can offer holographic this and that. First, you have to build a holographic projector, dude. Step one,
Chapter 1, build it and build it well. Chapter 2, it blew up in my face.
Yeah.
Chapter
That's pretty
3.
much all my stuff, yeah.
Chapter 3. I'm at the hospital, so.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! But we want the best for Rumble because we see its
do.
potential. But the issue of it is that there needs to be a bit more transparency, and there needs a bit more focus. A little more transparency and a little more focus. I think those are the key two words. If we're going to leave on something today, it's Rumble needs a bit more transparency and a bit more focus. And
yes, and by transparent, at least in my end, let me explain what I mean by just transparency.
Yeah.
It ain't much. It's saying, hey, right now our primary focus is on live content. We are working on infrastructure. I'm just hypothetically, we are working on infrastructure to strengthen our edited content output. Until then, here's the requirements of when you're uploading. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. Because as I said, as it stands right now, I cannot tell you how many people have come over thinking, oh, I can leave YouTube. And they come on here, they're starting to upload all their stuff. And they go, oh, wow, 480p or, whatever that is. Oh, wait, you mean I don't have end card support? Oh, wait, I don't have this and that. So then that confuses and gives a bad experience for someone who would have likely been a great customer. Yeah. So you've got to strengthen what you already have before you can start offering your customers new things. Make that entrance perfect and flawless, then work on the bells and whistles as you go. That is the extent of the transparency I'm looking for. I'm out of everyone out there, I'm asking for the most minuscule thing. The most tiny thing. It's just
Yeah.
honestly with what you're trying to achieve. Let us know, and then we're there with you. We're rooting for you. And we want this. I am so happy and proud to be a part of a platform that is so pro free speech, that does welcome opinions of all backgrounds. Right? I love that idea. That's what this should, in my opinion, should be. So I want this to succeed.
Right.
So hopefully they'll meet me halfway. Would be even great.
Stella, meet me halfway, Stella.
Yeah.
Stella. But yeah, no, I agree with you on that, and I hope that, because I know with the lumpy roundtables they were listening at, I'm not gonna be, I'm probably gonna be the last person to listen to, but if they're willing to, not people who want to be angry at them or throw whatever at them, but just listen to people like us who are saying, look, this is what we see. Would you guys be willing to at least take one of the things we've talked about and at least worked on it, right? Like, it's that teacher that's trying to reach across to the kid who's having trouble learning. I know this is gonna sound weird. It's having the kid trouble learning, not paying attention, all this stuff, and it's just he's there's something there. The gold is there, but he's just kind of buried and off to the side and all this stuff. So you kind of just have to keep pointing the way. And we love what it does, but we want to be able to compete it with self first, and then it can go on to the other platforms. Because right now, a majority of people would rather go to, say, Odyssey or whatever, or stay on YouTube. And for me, when people say they want to leave YouTube for Rumble, make Rumble the only place, look, I've already stated of why I don't think that's great, but you do you, and that's all that matters. For me, it's a risk you're bringing on yourself that if you aren't sure about, multi-platforming, multi-streaming is the way to go. But that's just me. So take that as you will. Now we're hitting that point where I said you were needing to shove off. So
Yeah, right around 9. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna head off. We're going to, of course, do our promotion before the end. So if you want to do your thing first, I'll give a quick thing before we go, and then we'll play the outro video.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome.
Would love to do it again in the future.
Oh yeah.
As far as my content, as I said before, we on my channel we try our best to kind of do as unique stuff as we possibly can with the very tiny microscopic budget that I have. We try to give kind of a big show feel, experience, kind of a G4-esque experience, always trying to come up with new show ideas that kind of make the chat experience fun. That is my focus, is making the people who come, who are nice enough to spend some time with me. I try my best with the resources I have to give them a good time, as best a time I can. So, and I mean that sexually, of course. That's what let's not beat around the bush. I am, of course, talking about reach rounds, and yes, all of those things are often. Don't hold me to it. Not legally. But anyway, yeah. So PandaSub2000 on Rumble. You can also find me on Odyssey. Basically, if you go to PandaSub2000.com, that'll give you all my social media links, all that other good stuff. But Rumble is my focus, and I do love Rumble. Let's end it with that. I do love Rumble. I love what they represent, and I really love the people like you and Geek and all these wonderful people I've met on this platform. I absolutely love it here. And I wish nothing best for the platform. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, and I'm glad you came on. So, of course, it's my turn now. It's my turn. No, so and then he never came back again. I was like, oh, this is a joke. No, fake Ryan Reynolds, please, please. But anyway, so I do stream to both YouTube and Rumble. Of course, I have my reasons, like everyone else has theirs. Both the same content is on there, the shorts, the videos, whatever. I haven't done videos, but shorts I've been doing, and like I showed you earlier with what program I'm using. But I streamed both there at Daramuth. I have a fan account. I already explained that on Twitter X at Veramuth. I have you can DM me on Discord at Daramuth, and you can use my email, which is right about here. Right about here. Those are 3 ways to contact me if you'd like to come on yourself. Again, I open this door to just about anyone. And I say just about anyone because I don't care about bad actors. I don't care about debaters. I don't care about argumentative people. I care about people who want to have a conversation, can walk away with a disagreement, and can have fun along the way. 3 simple steps. I've just made myself more easier than apple pie, and not in that way, not
Nice.
in Candace's way.
Not in the panda way. Yeah.
But not in the panda way. That's right. There you go. Something else. I'm giving you free stuff. Gosh. But yeah. So, or if you don't want to do those 3 at all, leave a comment. I've been getting a lot of those contact me on WhatsApps comments, so those won't work. But if you leave me a comment saying, "Hey, I like your stuff. I'd like to come on. How can we go forward?" I'll be like, I'll just give you the options. We'll go from there. But at the end of the day, this is about reaching across to people to have different conversations, big or small. Yes, I will. Some cases try to aim for big, but doesn't mean I'm walking away from small. 2 hours.
That's what she said. Hey, come on.
Well, you talked to Micro earlier, so you took that one. But just think of this, right? 2 hours. We don't know each other. I met him through the probably through Geek, but mostly through the PIF stuff, right? Same with the other people on here. When you can have 2 people, and forget all this political stuff, forget all this. We are at a point where we forget to have a conversation about anything. You look at Twitter X, perfect example. Are they having a conversation? Are they having, my side is better than yours, I'm right, you're wrong? Which is it? Right? I don't care if I'm right. I'm gonna be dead one day. What does right do for me? I mean, it'd be nice to be right sometime, but still, the point of the matter is if you really want a reminder of what being right is, you're gonna be dead. So what does it matter? I know that's kind of grim, but the point of the matter is we are only here.
On that cheery note,
Yeah, we are only here for a finite of time, and I'd rather enjoy it by having conversations, breaking out of my bias, and having a fun time. Because at the end of the day, this time I get to share with Panda, I'm looking forward to having it again. When, I don't know. But at the end of the day, we got to share a moment. It's time capsule. People get to see us laugh, having fun, enjoying the thing, slapping each other around like that fish thing in Monty Python or whatever. You know, just having fun with that. I'm glad you agree with that. But
I'm always down for a fish fight. That's what I'm known for. Just a good old fashioned fish fight.
Fish sticks all the way, baby. Fish sticks all the way.
Yes.
But anyway, that's what I'm aiming for. I know I don't have the know-how to attract more people. But again, the point is conversation first. Everything else is a bonus, a positive bonus, right? Like donos and all that stuff. It's all a bonus, and other things. But
well, I'll add to that real quick. You know,
Yeah.
that I, without getting into any politics or anything, I've always actively went into every debate or conversation to be wrong, because I want to hear someone's opinion, and I want to be open to actually hearing it as opposed to waiting my turn to say something.
Yeah.
And that kind of mentality has actually shifted me many times in many different directions, whatever the range of topics are.
Yeah.
So it's always best, in my opinion, to, if you ever want to expand upon yourself, you need to be wrong, be open to being wrong.
Yes, Cool Frog. And also Cool Frog has been on, and I did post one of the shorts. So Cool Frog, if you haven't seen it yet, let me know what you think, because the short I published was sort of our thoughts on drugs, illegal or legal, and sort of thing. So if you want to check that out, that's fine, guys. If not, thank you for being here. Thank you, Panda Sub. I'm looking forward to next time, because there will be a next time. It's just the when is always that factor. Dig it in. And then don't forget those ideas I've given you, because you're not getting it back again if you forget.
Oh, I'm stealing them, baby. I wrote them down.
Ryan Reynolds, fake brother, check. All right. But anyway, guys, thank you for being here. Again, don't forget, mute yourself for the outro video.
Yes.
If you want to,
I can't tell you how many people have told me to mute myself. Well, there's a long list of those people.
Not in that way. I'm just saying, because you can be heard during that video. So, but you can leave during, or you can stay a little after, and we can chat. It's up to you.
Thank you, Big Block.
Yeah, because I know where to go. But thank you, everyone, for being here again. Oh, that's right. Before I go, tomorrow, gonna have someone on tomorrow. Gotta look. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. So tomorrow is Tuesday, the 9th. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, I have on a creator from Rumble. His name is Michael Keane, Keane, and he will be on. He's an artist. He will be on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. And again, what you saw here, most likely the same thing. It'll just be different, right? Because that's the point of a conversation. Is like you never know what's going to happen. I mean, you could have been firing off, Roman candles in the background. I don't know.
I was. That's what I was doing actually while you were talking. I was firing off Roman candles out my ass.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Just not like that. But anyway, thank you guys. It's been awesome. Awesome to have you on, Panda. Awesome to have you guys on here. And yeah, check him out if you haven't already. I mean, you check out his stuff, not him.
However way you want to check me out, ladies, am I right? You just lost every sub. You're welcome.
And with that, fake Ryan Reynolds says good night. Good night, everyone. Oh, hold on, I gotta get there. I gotta get there first. Hold on.
Okay.
And good night.